I asked Jesus into my heart when I was 9 years old. I was raised by Christian parents and had the blessing of a really wonderful and easygoing upbringing. About 2 weeks after I turned 25, I went home to celebrate my parents' wedding anniversary, and we went out to dinner as a family. And later that evening, got a phone call that my younger sister, Casey, had been in a pretty bad car accident. After 6 hours of gut-wrenching waiting in the hospital waiting room, we were informed that she had been killed and had died at the scene. The aftermath of that traumatic and devastating news just left me gutted. And I felt like a deep well had just been built inside of me that was filled with so much sorrow and anger. She was so young, and I felt like her life was just getting started, and we'd been robbed of a future together. God felt so far away, and I felt so lost. And I stayed in that valley for a really long time, and in the years that followed, my family was brought to another really fierce storm. My dad had been diagnosed with a very rare and aggressive form of cancer. We were told that his only chance of survival would be to undergo a stem cell transplant. They told us that the likelihood of a child being a good stem cell match was pretty slim, but I tested anyway, and by God's grace, I was a match. And so we began the transplant process. His recovery was very long, and it was scary and very uncertain. There were a lot of really touch and go moments. But I am so thankful to say that he recovered, and 7 years now since that whole process took place, he, by God's healing power alone, is cancer-free and healthy and alive and well. I think when you go through really hard moments, God has so much patience just in allowing you to be able to process through the pain. 3 years ago on Easter Sunday, God grabbed a hold of my heart, and he told me that it was time to forget the former things and not to dwell on the past any longer, because he wanted to do a new thing in me. That was the first Sunday that I had been to church in over 10 years. And now here I am, 3 years later on Easter Sunday, living out so many answered prayers. And that well that formed in me is no longer filled with pain and grief, but it's been replaced with thankfulness and gratitude for God's faithfulness and his restoration on my life. When I look back, I can see how God's hand was moving in even the smallest of details, forming this beautiful tapestry that can now be my testimony. In the darkest hours, whenever I couldn't feel him and he wasn't close, he was carrying me and helping me press through when I didn't feel like I had the strength. And when I couldn't see him, he was working all things together for my good. My sister's favorite Bible verse was Jeremiah 29:11, and it's one of the promises that my faith journey is built upon. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future.